Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is headed to North Korea. He's expected to discuss the tension on the Korean Peninsula, as well as the relationship between Russia and North Korea. For more on that, we go to former U.S. diplomat Jim Jatras. For just a moment, if we can go back to Manila's story, Jim. I mean, with Nixon and China, it was ping pong. So now it's hamburgers with Trump. And the irony in all of this is today the doctor told Trump he's got to knock off the hamburgers and change his diet. So we've got to have some kind of humor in all of this. What do you make of this CIA report? NBC News goes on the air with 3 unnamed sources. Let's say it's true. What does that say?
You know, my first reaction on hearing that, Ed, was, you mean the CIA, elements of which are involved in the anti-constitutional conspiracy to remove Trump, are seeking to sabotage his summit with Kim? What a big surprise. This doesn't surprise me at all. Look, I don't think it's just people at the CIA. I think there are people around Mr. Trump who don't want this summit and certainly don't want it to succeed. And I think that's why we see, for example, with Mr. Lavrov going to South Korea, the South Koreans, the Russians, the Chinese, I think they're more or less on the same page in terms of wanting this thing to succeed, and I think Trump does too, but there are people here that don't.
All right, let's jump way ahead of the aircraft here for a moment. What if Trump comes away with a deal that does eventually get North Korea to the point where the American people want them, and that is denuclearization? From a political standpoint, this would be a huge political feat for the president. I mean, other presidents haven't been able to do it. What did he do differently? I mean, and so do you think that there are people that are inside thinking, you know, this guy might pull this off and we can't have that happen?
Sure, I think that's exactly right, but I think they're also then thinking of the next step. If that happens, if there is a peace on the on the Korean Peninsula, why do we need 30,000 troops there? I mean, let's face it, they're not there really to protect South Korea from North Korea. They're there to contain China.
So the military guys, let's keep this thing going. This is good budget stuff.
I'm not even sure it's the military guys so much. I think it's more of the, you know, you call it the deep state, the neocons, whatever you want, but they don't like the idea that we're not going to be in the Korea business anymore.
Should the administration, the president, be concerned that this is being reported and it's coming from within the CIA? He's been complaining about leaks. What's the intel community having leaks like this for at such a crucial time?
Well, exactly right. And of course, it's not just the CIA. I mean, look what he said about Jeff Sessions today. I mean, there are whole parts of the apparatus of government, whether it's CIA, FBI, Justice Department, NSA, that are simply not under the control of the Trump administration.
Okay, we've had our comedy with hamburgers, but is that what it's going to come down to, is business deals? I mean, offering something to North Korea that they don't have to make life better?
Ed, you can't make this stuff up. You know, watching that clip at the rally out there, you say, why do so many Americans love this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's taking a very serious topic, but putting it, in, if you will, in the layman's terms. And I think they can understand that. They can appreciate that.
Well, every one of the hamburger chains are going to say, what kind of customers do you have?
I think Burger Dictator has the first claim on opening a franchise.
Okay. The visit from Sergei Lavrov, is this a crucial visit to North Korea? Do they play a big role, Russia?
I think they do. I'm sure this is coordinated with the Chinese, but look at the content of his message. He's saying a couple of very important things. One is, this is not going to be just give up your nukes and that's the beginning of the process. It's going to be a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to, and by the way, what Trump said more or less approximated that. It's not what some other elements of his team want, which is you give up all your nukes and then you rely on our paper promises. Everything's going to be fine after that.
Jim Jatras, always a pleasure. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.